want people to know when they visit OOB?
Well, I want them to know that Old Orchard Beach is, of course, a tourist destination. That's why people come here. And that they're to come here and have a good time, but there's also a level of responsibility that we ask our visitors to come here and be responsible when they're guests. There are certain rules that and certain expectations of our guests that come here. Of course, follow the rules and the laws, but also there are some special rules that happen, what we call ordinances that happen here in Old Orchard Beach. So we want people to come here. We want them to know it's a tourist destination. We want them to know that they can come and interact with our law enforcement, because we have officers, special officers that help patrol the downtown area and the beach area, so we're always visible and available. And we want them to know that Old Orchard Beach Police Department is partners with the community. So we're just not a policeman who responds to crime, but we're out there to assist the public and our tourists, and we want them to know that we're approachable and we're friendly, and that the police department is out there to help them have a good time while they're here visiting.
How can kids be safe on vacation?
Well, first of all, that's a great question. And one of the things that we recommend for parents to know where their children are at all times. Of course, today everybody has a cell phone to keep in touch with carry a cell phone with you, keep in touch with your guardians, your parents, whoever you're visiting with, an aunt or an uncle or a relative. And to make sure that you communicate where you are, where you're going to be, and when you tell them where you're going to be, to make sure you're there and you don't do something different. And of course, like I said, we all have cell phones. The other thing that can really help a lot is the buddy system. So if you're a kid and you're coming down here, never go alone. Make sure you bring a buddy with you, a friend, a relative, brother, sister that can come and help you enjoy. Enjoy your time.
So like if you're walking to school, you should go with somebody.
Well, it's recommended, to walk with somebody. Some people walk alone. It is very safe.
Because just like the rec department does in the summer, you have to have a buddy wherever you go.
It's always good to have a buddy with you, and when you walk to school, or if you go downtown, or you're here vacationing, or just a resident, if you're walking around town, it's always good to have a friend. And if not, make sure that your guardians, mom, dad, or relative know exactly where you're going and what time you're expected to be home. There are a couple other things I can offer as far as being safer. Make sure that if you see something suspicious, that you report it to the police, and that you avoid it and go to the nearest adult that can help you. Go to a store or some business that might be able to help you. If you see something that just doesn't look right, don't be hesitant about calling the police department, and we can certainly check it out. That's really why we're here. So see something, say something. Always go with a buddy system, and make sure you are where you're supposed to be at all times.
How do you become involved?
It's a great question. In order to be a good police officer, basically there are three things: good integrity, good morals and values, and honesty. Those are really the three key things that we really look at to be a police officer. It's really an in-depth process. We need to have honest people out there doing this job, and a certain level of intelligence and understanding of the job as well. But being honest and good integrity and good morals and honesty is really the best part. But in order to be a police officer, you have to apply. Then you have to pass a written test. You have to pass a oral board interview, often 2 or 3. Then you have to go through a psychological examination, so that you have to go see a psychologist. Then you have to go on what we call a polygraph. Everybody here of a polygraph? Polygraph is when they put you on what they call the box, and they ask you questions to see if you're being truthful or deceitful. And then I think I already mentioned you have to pass a physical fitness test. So you have to meet a certain physical fitness standard. So once you put all of that together, then they look at the most qualified individual. But probably one of the most important things that we look for is somebody who has a caring nature, knows how to take charge of a situation, knows how to be honest and great integrity, and somebody, probably the most important thing you could ever imagine a law enforcement can do, is good communication skills. Knows how to treat people like human beings, and knows how to be able to take control of a situation while getting the respect of people. So it really is an in-depth process. So if anyone plans on being a police officer, as a teenager and a young adult, they have to make good decisions. Good decisions about You know, am I going to commit this crime or am I not? Am I going to get in trouble? Am I not? Am I going to use alcohol? Am I not? Am I going to use drugs or am I not? So those are really important decisions to be making as a young adult, whether you want to get into law enforcement or not. There you go. That's the answer.
What is the most important advice that you would give to a kid coming to OLV?
Well, we touched on this with the first question, but again, when you come to Old Orchard Beach, this is a very safe community, but like anyone else, you're subjected to potential crime. And the most important thing is for you to be responsible. You to make good decisions about where you go, what time you're out, how you communicate, telling mom and dad or your parents or your guardian or relatives where you are at all times. And so a lot of the responsibility, and see something, say something. So a lot of the responsibility falls on the individual when they come here to Old Orchard Beach. And those things, those decisions about safety have to be made by, or help the police department by each individual making good, sensible decisions about what they should be doing when they're coming here to visit. Or if they live here as residents, or they're school kids.
You want to ask a couple of questions? That's great. That's all the footage we need for the
I
interview.
actually got 2 questions.